how to say no without feeling guilty, both to people and to tasks. This is what I will speak about in this video, and at first I would like to welcome you guys. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So these are the following topics that I am gonna speak to you about, that is understanding your priority, the power of saying no, overcoming fear, strategies, dealing with guilt and exceptions. These are the following topics that I will be covering today. So let's start with understanding your priority. So what is the biggest currency in the world? It's not US dollar, it's not pound, it's not anything like that. It is your time and your energy. Those are the most valued currency in the whole world. And what does saying no do? Saying no conserves that currency of yours so that it can be put to a good use. That was point number 1. And point number 2 is that yes man makes you seem like a clown who does not have any job to do. Imagine someone who works so hard every day. Do you think he or she has the time to say yes to each and every opportunity he or she is getting? Of course no, because they cannot manage or handle the tasks together because they are focusing on themselves. But if you are someone who says yes to each and everything in your life, you're going to be like a clown because you will be saying yes to everything, and that will make everyone think that you have nothing to do with your own life. You're just a good for nothing. That was point number 2 covered, and now moving on to point number 3, your pressure limit. That is how many tasks you can handle at a time. You know, your body is not so much different from that of a computer or a phone because they have some specific hardware capabilities, for example RAM, CPU, etc, etc. Similarly, you have some of your working brain power that you need to put into one task to get it completed. But if you divert that brain power into other meaningless things, it will be depleted and hence you will be left with nothing, so you will not be able to get the task done. This will also increase the pressure on you and ultimately make you criticize yourself for choosing to enjoy right now. This delayed gratification is something I will again speak about, but for now we are moving on to the next topic, that is understand your priority. So what does priority mean? Priority means identify what matters to you the most, and nowadays most people have what they call priorities instead of a priority properly, because everyone has 5 or 10 different things he or she is focusing on. Actually none of them are the priority, but they are focusing on each and everything a little bit at a time, and that is why they are not getting the results, and also they are not able to finish the thing. So this is where my single priority concept comes in. This is something I have been speaking for so long, that is you only have a priority, not priorities. It is something of a rule that I live by in my life, that is the plural form of the word priority is not even a word, because priority means it is above everything else. So practically speaking, you cannot have 3 or 4 things above everything else, because the thing that is meant to be above everything else is your priority, and the first position cannot be occupied by 2 or more things. It has to be only one. So now that you understand this concept, let's move on to the next. Power of saying no. It's more like the benefits of saying no, because number 1, you will have more focus. This is a very true line, that is no work is better than busy work, because busy work or shallow work, the work that most people do, is just a facade because they are not actually getting anything done. The example of a busy work is for a content creator to reply to the comments. Now absolutely, if he wants to interact with his fans, then he can surely do it. But if he has got other bigger fish to fry, that is for example his recording of videos is pending, his editing of thumbnail is pending, then he cannot go and just do those pointless tasks, because they are not the ones that will bring him the ROI, that is return on investment. Instead he should focus on the bigger or the heavier task, and what most people nowadays do is they focus on the shallow task which does not require much effort. So if you say no, you are going to have more time and more focus dedicated towards your bigger task, and you will get more things done. Number 2 is less stress, and really what I want you to understand is overcommitting is not a good idea for your health, both physical and mental, because overcommitting will put a strain on your physical body, and the brain pressure you have to deal with when you are trying to overcommit is immense. Trust me, I have faced those situations, and I can say with certainty that please don't overcommit. I will give you a very typical analogy of overcommitting. That is, let's say you missed your workout today, and what most people do is they think tomorrow or the next day I am going to work out twice as much. That means I will try to catch up tomorrow or the next day, because they think that they can do it. But in reality, when they wake up the next day, they immediately understand that hell no, we are not going to hit 2 workouts a day, and that is impossible physically. And so what happens is their initial workouts goes bad, that means they are not able to perform at their 100% even in their initial workout, let alone the second workout, which they of course don't do. That is the one big problem when it comes to overcommitting. Next is better relations, because you are setting clear expectations from the people around you that I have my boundaries and I want to maintain them. I don't want anybody to cross those boundaries and interfere with my life. And lastly, that is the most important thing, you will develop self-discipline. For example, you are given a candy bar to eat. Now people without the self-discipline will go and eat it right away, whereas people with self-discipline will hold back and think about their diet and all of these things, and then if they decide they want to eat it, they will eat it, otherwise they will not eat it. That is the difference between having discipline and not having discipline. So whenever you are saying no, it builds your discipline more. Now let's talk about overcoming fear. So what are the common types of fear that people face? Number one is fear of missing out, what we call FOMO. Number two is fear of disappointing people, and number three is fear of conflict, which arises from fear of disappointing others. And the simple way to overcome the fears is just by a mindset shift. Mindset is one of the most craziest thing in the entire universe, because it can literally change you. And the mindset you need to adopt for this type of things is that whenever you are saying no to something, your self-respect increases. Every time you are saying no, you are distinguishing yourself from the crowd, because the crowd are going for the fun, whereas you are staying and doing the work that actually matters and that will actually yield the results 2 or 3 or 5 years from now. And there is a nice line that I wrote down, that is, idiots will shout and intellectuals will agree. And that is the actual reality, because idiots who don't understand anything, they will just shout at you that why the hell are you not coming and all of this. But those who are intellectual or intelligent, they will understand that you have your personal goals to strive towards, and that is why you cannot join the party or the meeting or the gathering or whatever it is. Now let's come to the strategies. Number one is be clear and direct. That is, you have to use simple and honest language. Here are some of the examples that I wrote down. For example, these are very cliche, but they actually work. That is, I appreciate the invite, but I can't make it. I understand that this is important to you, but I have to focus on my studies or my work or my career or something like that. And another thing, that is, avoid unnecessary explanation. That just complicates the whole issue, because the person is expecting a response in either a yes or a no. They are not expecting that you will tell them the whole damn story of this is why I can't do it and this is why I have to miss the event and all of these things. Just say yes or no. Reply in yes or no. Don't just make out stories, even if they are real, even if they are not an excuse. Still, if the situation does not ask for it, then don't tell a story. The conversation should be about like 10 seconds. Don't drag it on. And the other thing is, if you are causing some damage, then you should repair it. That is, you should try to offer alternatives. For example, if there is work task that you are facing and you don't want to do, then try to delegate it. Check out the video on the card if everything feels to you important all the time, because that is the same thing that is happening here. And if it is people, then try to set a different time or a different scenario where it can actually work out for you. For example, this is a very nice reply, that is, I can't help you today, but maybe I can help you later this week. And you can just use scheduling apps like Calendly, and you can just give them the link and they will be able to schedule things in your calendar. And you can see that whenever the scheduling is there, you will go and attend. That will be according to your choice, because your calendar is your own personal to-do list kind of thing. So you will already have your tasks booked, and if there is a free space, they are going to take it, so it will get all sorted out. Now let's talk about how to deal with guilt. So this is the personal journaling prompt that I use whenever I deal with guilt. That is, why am I feeling guilty due to the event or due to what happened? And these are the following things that I tell myself. The number one thing is, you are a single person. You can only do so much, and that is the truth, because it's actually best if you prioritize your own needs above the needs of other people, because at the end all you have is yourself. Now I am not saying that cut out social life completely and go monk mode and all of these things. Sometimes they might be important, but what I am basically saying is, you should prioritize yourself above everyone else. That means your priority should be you, not to please everyone else. And the number two thing is delayed gratification. How does working out work? You train, you maintain a healthy diet, and after 5 years or 10 years, you get your dream 10 on 10 physique. That is, if you stay consistent on it. So there is enjoyment at the end. And trust me when I say this, the fun you're going to miss out nowadays is actually not even a tiny bit compared to the fun you are going to have after the grind is over. Currently, you might think that everything is a grind nowadays. Every day I'm waking up and grinding and I'm not seeing any results. But the day you will see results, you will see all the results. As everyone always says, the graph of success is exponential, and you will not see results in one particular day. You have to wait, and the exponential effect will take off, and just after you cross a certain threshold, you will see a shooting level of result in whatever you're trying to do. And this is what I mean, that is, goal achievement is far greater than some of the fun that you are going to do right now. Now let's talk about some exceptions, and the reason I wrote chemistry is because chemistry is full of exceptions. That is a dangerous subject. But apart from that, the exceptions are learning events. For example, if there is an event and you are going to learn something from it, for example, if it is a workshop of some kind, then absolutely you should go and you should attend that, because you will attain new knowledge. Number two, if it is actually fun or not just a little time waste, it's better to go out once every month and have more fun rather than go out every weekend and have no fun at all. Number three is a little break. That means whenever you are working super hard, after that period of time you need a small amount of time for you to recuperate, and that is why you need a short break. Nobody is so capable enough that they can do monk mode for 1 year or 2 years or for their entire lives, and that is why after a long period of working super hard, you can take a few days off and give yourself a nice little break. And this is the concluding statement that I want you to understand, that is, too much of anything is bad. If you do too much work, you will burn out. If you do too much of enjoyment, you will get ruined. And that is why I want you to understand that too much of anything is bad, even though it might be positive, even though it might be negative. If you do too much, it will be bad. So that was it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Start if you haven't already.